Okay, good. So just lean back, get super comfy on your mat. We're gonna start off nice and slow. So Joanna has a little ball between her legs to support her shoulder and back. And if you need to put a pillow or anything on your low back, you can do that too. I just invite you to start getting a little bit more comfortable and calm. So lying down on our back, we're gonna take a big inhale and reach our arms overhead. Point your toes and feel like you're lengthening from your fingertip to your toes. And then you're just gonna exhale and relax your arms just wherever they fall. It could be by your head, by your sides. Just nice and comfy here. Let's start bringing the attention back to our breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose as well. It should almost sound like an ocean wave crashing. That's a nice peaceful memory since we can't be at the beach right now. So let's do that. Inhale with the nose. Exhale with the nose. Good. So now we're gonna inhale again, reach our arms overhead. And as we exhale, we're gonna curl up into a little ball, but you're gonna reach your hands past your toes behind you. So I'm curled up into a little crunch. We're gonna go through that a couple of times. I'm gonna inhale, reach up, lengthen, and exhale, curl into a little ball. You're starting to build a little bit of heat in the core. Inhale, reach long, and exhale, curl in. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, curl in. And inhale, reach long one more time. Exhale, curl in. This time, grab your knees and squeeze them to your chest. Hold here for a moment. Let's rock side to side. You can hold onto your knees or your shins, but we're just getting a little bit of movement here. Drop your feet onto the mat with your knees bent and reach your arms overhead one more time. Really, really, really lengthen, and then exhale, bring your hands by your side and let your knees fall right to left. Just creating a little bit of motion in the hips. Mine feel especially tight today. So you're drawing one knee in towards the center and then switching and drawing the other knee in towards the center. So you're getting a lot of internal rotation in the hip. Good. Squeeze your knees back to center and rock up and down about 5 times until you come up to a seated position. So I'm sitting down with my legs crossed. If you feel more comfortable, you can put something underneath your hips to give you some more height. I'm gonna reach up overhead. And as I exhale, I'm gonna reach over towards the right and get a long side stretch. Taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, come back to center. Take a big breath and then come on over towards the side. So I'm keeping a nice little bend in that supporting arm and reaching nice and long before I side bend. Come back to the center. Inhale and exhale, reach over to the right. So both of your sit bones are still on the ground right now. You're just trying to pull your arm up and away. Come back to center. And exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center. And one more time, both sides. Just creating some slow movement to start off today. to center, and last time over to the left. Take your gaze up to the ceiling, creating some twisting in the neck. And back to center, reach up super, super long, and then exhale. Plant your hands on your knees, and let's get in 5 shoulder rolls. Letting go of any tension we've been holding on to in our neck. Take this as slow as you need to. If you feel a couple of knots as you're working your way through, feel free to do 1 shoulder at a time, really articulating that movement, and then the other shoulder. You might feel that all the way up into your neck, maybe towards your spine. We have lots of big muscles in our back. So 2 more shoulder rolls. Good, then bring your arms up. And then exhale, plant your hands as long as you can in front of you. I know a little early for this hip stretch, but we're gonna see our progress later. So just reach forward as long as you can with your arms and let your head fall heavy. So it's okay if there's some rounding in your spine at first. This might let go of some tension in your lower back. Good, okay, so now let's plant our hands into the mat. I'm gonna come onto tabletop, so I just flipped on over. Found my tabletop position. And we'll start with some simple cat-cows. So inhale, draw your chin towards the ceiling, and then exhale, curl in, press into the mat. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. And then inhale, curl in, exhale, press out. I like to bend my elbows a little bit as I move into that cow pose. And then exhale, arch your back. Really, really, really emphasize that. And then inhale, look up. Exhale, press back. Come into your regular tabletop position now. Curl your toes underneath you, and let's press back into our first downward dog. Okay, so let's keep our knees really, really bent in this first downward dog. I'm onto the ball of my feet here, so that makes me be able to put the pressure into my wrist to press out of the mat and lift my hips up higher. So ideally, our spine would be like this all the time, right? Tailbone nice and high, pressing into the hands. Okay, good. We're gonna inhale and then exhale. Try to straighten the legs as much as you can, still reaching the hips up high. Now let's pedal out our feet. Bend one knee, come onto the ball of that foot, stretch the bottom of your foot out. And as you pedal your feet out, you're still pushing your chest through. We'll do these nice and slow. Inhale and exhale, press your chest through. Good. Now widen your stance on your downward dog. That makes it a little bit easier for you to get a hamstring stretch here. We're gonna start by shifting our weight over to our left hand and reaching the right hand back to our left calf. So a little twist here in our downward dog. It'll make your left arm work. So really press into the mat and then use your right hand to pull yourself through into a little bit of a deeper twist. Breathe. And then plant your right hand back onto the mat. And let's go over to the other side. So reach that left hand back towards the right calf. And as you exhale, pull yourself deeper into that twist. If you want to grab onto your ankle or maybe your thigh feels a little bit easier, do whatever you need. And then come on back to center. We are not gonna hold for that long. Bring your knees back towards the mat. Tap the tops of your feet on the ground. And let's get 3 more cat-cows, moving at your own pace. Just let your breath take you to the movement. Inhale, look up, and then exhale, push back. Creating some nice mobility here in our spine. Once you're done with your 3 cat-cows, you'll just come back to this tabletop position with your wrist underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Good, so now let's curl our toes underneath us and lift our knees just an inch off the mat. Awesome, and exhale, downward dog. Maybe feeling a little bit more flexible in this position. Let's inhale our heels off of the mat and tiptoe our feet all the way to our hands. Widening our stance here. Let's grab onto opposite elbows and just sway side to side. Again, feel free to bend your knees here if you need to. Slowly warming up here. Plant your hands onto the ground if you can, even your fingertips count. Bring your feet just a little bit closer together so that your ankles are underneath your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees if you need to. And then we'll inhale, arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, just let your hands hang by your side. 2 more shoulder rolls. Then inhale your arms up. Exhale all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands on the mat and let's step back. If you need to take some pressure off of your wrist, you can come onto your forearms. Just make sure that the core is still nice and tight. So hold this plank. You guys look super strong. And then let's lower all the way down to the floor. Chest meets the mat. Uncurl your toes. And inhale, lift up, cobra. Yeah, this cobra can be very little at first if you'd like. Keep that slight bend in the elbows and shoulders away from your ears so that your neck is still nice and long. And exhale, come back to the mat. Let's do cobra one more time. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, come down. Curl your feet underneath you and press up into a plank. Nice. And exhale, downward dog. We're gonna inhale the right leg up towards the sky, still pressing your chest through your shoulders. As you exhale, bring that right knee to your right elbow. And exhale, kick that leg back up. Inhale, draw the knee towards the chest and plant your foot down into a nice low lunge. If it takes you a couple steps to get that leg forward, that's okay. Drop the back knee. So we're in a nice deep lunge here. Let's inhale the arms up towards the ceiling. And let's hold this low lunge for a little bit. You should feel it in the front of your hip here. Plant your hands back onto the mat. Uncurl or curl your toes beneath you and lift that left knee up. Good, now we'll come up all the way into a full crescent lunge. Good, you can make this as deep as you need to, or you can shorten your stance if you'd like. Hold this crescent lunge. And then as you exhale, find the floor with your left hand and keep that right hand on your right thigh. Press into the floor with the left hand and inhale, right arm up into a nice twist here. Still try to drive those hips into the ground. Plant your right hand back onto the mat and then bring the right foot to meet your left into a plank. Now you can skip this and meet us in down dog, or you can lower all the way down with us. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. We'll pedal out our feet a little bit more. And try to be a little bit more mindful of if you're holding your breath in some positions or if you're just letting the breath direct how you move. I am definitely guilty of holding my breath sometimes. So let's try this out. Inhale the left leg up. And exhale, bring that knee towards the left elbow. Inhale, kick the left leg back up. And exhale, bring the knee towards your chest. And then find the floor with that leg. Drop the back knee. And inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Make sure that you're driving that left knee out and still tucking your pelvis underneath. Put your hands on the ground. Curl those toes and lift the right knee off the ground. Inhale, sweep the arms up and come into that crescent lunge on the left side. Check in, are your shoulders away from your ears? Are you reaching back with that right heel? Exhale, find the floor with your right hand. Keep that left on your thigh. Press into the thigh with your left arm as you reach up, then with that left hand. Get into a nice twist here. Breathe into the twist. Bring your left hand back down to the mat. Come back into a plank and flow through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Really good control on that lowering, guys. So let's stay in downward dog for 5 breaths. Coming back to the breathing that we practiced in the beginning of class. In through the nose, out through the nose, creating that ocean wave-like sound. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Bend your knees and step or jump to the top of your mat. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Good. Reconnect with your breath. So you'll find that moving into each pose becomes easier if you become more aware with the breath and how difficult it may be or how uncomfortable you might feel. So let's try to practice that as we move throughout our practice. We're going to inhale, reach our arms overhead and shift our hips back. Come into a nice chair pose. Great job, guys. So the weight here should be on the balls of your feet and your heels in a nice strong, strong, strong position. Exhale, find the floor with your hands and jump back into a plank or step back. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale down, facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. And exhale, draw the knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, reach that right leg back up. Exhale, bring the knee towards the chest. And then drop that foot into a nice lunge. Inhale the arms all the way up this time. If you need to drop the knee, you are more than welcome to, but we're gonna stay in this nice crescent lunge. We're gonna hold for a little bit, sink deeper into this pose. And then as we exhale, we're gonna pivot onto the outside of our back foot and come into a warrior two. Good, so this is a really strong stance. I'm still driving my right knee out and pressing into the floor with the outside of my left foot. I'm gonna inhale my arms up, straighten my front knee, and exhale, bring my hands to heart center and push out for a dancing warrior. Inhale, arms up, exhale, press out. Inhale, arms up, exhale, press out. Good, so you're moving with your breath. Inhale up, exhale, press out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up, exhale, press out, and hold the warrior two. One line from your right fingertips to your left. Let's flip our right palm. Inhale as we lean forward and exhale as we reach back and reverse our warrior. I'm reaching back behind me. Still keeping that bend in the front knee. And exhale, come back to warrior two. And then plant your right hand on the inside of your right foot as you take your left hand to reach for the ceiling. Good. So you could always use a block here underneath your right hand or bring your elbow to your right thigh for a little bit of a less intense hip flexor stretch. We're gonna hold here in side angle. Reach your arm, left arm over your head, creating a nice long line from your left foot to your left hand. And then find the floor with your left hand, pivot onto the ball of your left foot, and drop that knee. Whew. Let's wiggle our right foot a little bit closer to the edge of the mat. And we're gonna hold here in this lizard lunge. So this can look various ways for you. You can stay here. I could happily stay put here. You could reach your forearms for the ground, or you could lift that back knee up. So whatever you like, we're just gonna hold this for about 10 breaths. You can make this a dynamic stretch and do hip circles and draw little circles with your hips. It totally depends on how you're feeling today. Just keep on drawing your hips towards the mat. Nice lizard lunge. All right, let's hold for 3 more breaths here. And if you were on your forearms, come to your palms. Curl the left toes behind you if you had them under you. And then we're gonna swing that left foot forward into the bottom of a squat. Good, so however you need to get there. Could look graceful or not at all. You guys got it. So I'm using my elbows to press into my inner thighs and make my spine really, really long here. As if someone was pulling my ears to a nice, long, strong position. I'm gonna stand up, reach all the way up. And exhale, forward fold. You can bring your stance in a little bit here if you want. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And jump or step back into a plank. Lower down with control. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Good, let's inhale the left leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale, draw that elbow towards the knee, towards the elbow. Inhale, left leg back up. And exhale, draw that knee towards the chest before planting the foot down with control. Good, once you feel stable in this lunge, inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Again, adjust the stance as you need. We're gonna hold here for a little bit. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale as you pivot onto the outside of your right foot into a warrior pose, warrior two. Bend deeply into that left knee. As we inhale, reach the arms up, straighten that knee, and then exhale, press the hands out, dancing warrior. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press out and lunge deeper into the knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press out two more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press out. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, press out. Hold in the warrior two. Inhale, flip your left palm up towards the ceiling. Lean forward and then exhale, reach back, reverse your warrior. And come back to warrior two. Find the floor with your left hand and reach up with that right hand. If your neck mobility allows, take your gaze up to your right hand. If not, you can just keep gazing forward or down to your left hand. Reach that right hand up overhead, creating a nice long line. And then exhale, plant that hand onto the ground, pivot onto the ball of your right foot, and let's walk our left foot out for lizard on this side. So whatever you did on the other side, let's try to mimic it on this side. So I had my right knee down, and I stayed on my palms, feeling a little tighter today. So I'm just gonna honor that. If you wanna come onto your forearms, you can do that. Just try to keep your spine nice and long. Good, you can drop your neck to get a little stretch behind the head. Let's take 10 deep, deep breaths here. If you are on your forearms, come back to your palms. I'm gonna curl my right toes underneath me and swing that leg over for the bottom of a squat, yogi squat. Good, and drive those inner thighs out with the elbows, shifting from right to left. Let's inhale, stand all the way up. And then just go ahead and shake your legs out. Good. Once you come back to the top of your mat, roll your shoulders back. Let's interlace our hands behind our back. And I'm gonna reach my shoulder blades together to really open up the front of my chest. I'm gonna exhale, forward fold, and let my arms fall overhead. If this feels really, really difficult for you, you can bend your knees as much as you need. If the arm bind feels really uncomfortable, just let go and fold, forward fold with all of us. Keep your shoulders active here. So it's almost like if you're pulling away with your arms. Opening the front of our chest that we so easily hunch over with. Bring the hands back to your lower back. Release the arms so that they fall right in front of your face. Let's plant the right hand in the middle of our mat, bend our right knee, and reach up towards the ceiling with the left hand. Forward fold, twist. You can come onto your fingertips with the right hand if you need a little bit more height. You just want that left shoulder to be away from your face. Exhale, forward fold. Switch, bend your left knee, left hand on the mat, and inhale as you reach up towards the ceiling. And exhale, come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, step or jump back into a plank. Let's all come onto our forearms to a nice strong plank position. So squeeze your quads here, and that'll tighten up your core a little bit and not allow you to sway your back too much. Press into the ground with your forearms, and then exhale, bring your hips up high into a dolphin pose. So I'm using my forearms and my palms to plant into the ground and press my chest through my shoulders, getting a really deep stretch here in the shoulders and deltoids, maybe even lats for you. Continuously try to dig your heels into the ground. And then exhale, drop your knees to the ground, bring your big toes to touch, and let's come into a child's pose. So however wide you want your legs to be, you can reach in front of you or let your hands come by your side, whatever feels good. If you're reaching in front of you, try to draw your armpits towards the ground. Forehead falls heavy on the mat. And let's take a couple of deep breaths here. Coming back to that ocean wave-like breathing. Bring your palms to touch, and then bend the elbows and reach your hands towards the back of your neck. That'll get the stretch a little bit deeper into the lats. You should feel it in the shoulders here. You're still trying to bring your chest and armpits towards the ground. Then reach your arms forward and slowly press yourself up from that child's pose, however it may be. So we're gonna go through another little sequence It'll involve a little bit of balancing. If you need a block to rest your supporting hand for one of the quizzes that we do, you can go ahead and grab it. I've used a book in the past if you don't have a block handy. It's okay if you fall, no big deal. I might fall into the bushes, who knows? So let's all press back into a down dog. Reaching your hips up super, super high. Feel your hamstrings lengthening. Inhale, lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring the knee to the chest and plant that foot down in a nice lunge. Once you get your bearings, inhale up, reach the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, warrior two, moving a little quicker here. Let's inhale, reverse our warrior, reach forward, and then exhale, reach back. That left hand can be alongside the left leg or behind your back. Then exhale, come back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg and let's come into a triangle pose. So I'm gonna reach my right hand for the floor, left hand for the ceiling. Now try to open up those shoulders. This would be a place to use the block underneath the right hand or bend the front leg if you feel a little too stretched here. Bend the right knee and come into that side stretch that we were in before. Now bring your gaze towards the floor. We're gonna start shifting our weight towards our right foot as our left foot comes off of the ground. Nice. There you go. I'm flexing my left foot that's in the air. Make it seem like it's not dead weight here. I'm lifting up with that left hand to create a nice straight line from left fingertip to right fingertip. You guys have a beautiful half moon. Now this is where the challenge kicks in. I'm gonna reach back with my left hand and try to grab my left foot. So I bend that left knee. Ta-da! Bend the left knee and then kick into that left hand. It's a shoulder stretch. It's a hamstring fire. Good. Yeah, if you fall out of it, that's all right. And then try not to slingshot that leg, but let go of the leg. Straighten the leg once more, back to half moon. Bend the right knee and come back into a warrior two. Aha, way to stick with me there. Warrior two. Inhale, flip your palm up once more and exhale, reverse your warrior. Reach long before you bend. And come back to warrior two. Let's straighten that front leg once more. Point your toes towards the side of your room. I'll be looking at the camera. Bring your hands to your hips and let's exhale all the way forward. Find the floor with your hands and let your head hang heavy. I'm gonna grab the back of my neck with my hands just to add a little bit more weight on my neck, like on my neck here, to get a deeper stretch in the low back. It's a gentle tug. I'll plant my hands back onto the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And I'll walk my hands. Actually, I'll walk them on over to my right foot and come back into a low lunge in this position. Nice job, guys. Bring that right foot back to meet the left into a nice plank. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward dog. Pedal out your feet couple times. And we'll repeat that on the left side. So inhale, left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee to chest. Plant the foot on the ground. And inhale all the way up to a crescent lunge. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, flip your palm, and exhale, reverse your warrior. And back to warrior two. I'm gonna inhale, straighten my front knee, and exhale, reach long in front of me, and then fold into that triangle pose. One long line here. And inhale, come all the way back up, warrior two. Flip your palm and reverse your warrior once more. Exhale, warrior two. Now here's the fun part. You'll start shifting your weight over to the left foot. Find the floor with your left hand and lift that right leg up. Good, so flex that foot and try to stack one hip on top of the other. Now you can stay here or bend that right knee and reach back to grab it with your right hand. Kick into the right hand and feel a deep opening of the chest and long hamstring lengthening stretch on your base of support leg. Good. Now let go of that foot with control. Bend the front knee and back to warrior two. Ooh. Straighten that left leg. Point your toes towards the middle. So I'll flip over so you guys can see me. I'm in a wide-legged stance here, just like we were before. I'm gonna interlace my hands behind my back, open up my chest, and hinge forward. Letting my hands fall forward as far as they can go, but still keeping those shoulders opening. It's really easy to let the shoulders roll forward. Try to keep your scapula pulling towards each other here. Good, bring your hands back to your low back. Let go of your grip and find the floor with your hands. Let's bend our knees. Yeah, and you should feel a nice little stretch on the outside of the ankles. And then exhale, straighten the legs again. Point the toes towards the outside of your mat, so maybe they're pointing at the corners of your mat, and bend your knees. So now you're in this wide kind of squat position here. Your chest is upright, so I think this is called a goddess pose, so sorry Mason and Matthew, but my shoulders are on top of my hips here. I'm gonna place my hands on the inside of my thighs. I'll bend my right elbow and push into my left thigh. Yeah, so you're getting a nice deep inner thigh stretch here. And then inhale, lift your chest up, straighten the elbows, and exhale as you press into the right side now. Here, let's do that once more, both sides. Inhale, straighten the elbows, and exhale, bend deeply into that left side. Inhale back to center, and exhale, switch. It's a nice twist, but also getting a really deep stretch in the inner thigh. And come back to center. Straighten the legs, stand all the way up. Bring your feet in until you're standing upright. Face the front of your mat once more. And with caution, we're gonna just find the floor here as graceful as we can so that we're back on our mat. Good. I'm gonna rock back and get a couple rock backs and forth. Just loosening up my spine. We're gonna try shoulder stand. I don't think we've done this before in our Zoom classes. So I'll guide you through this and just try to listen for my cues, because I'd like it if your head wasn't moving from right to left, just if you were looking straight up to the ceiling. So if you've done this before, feel free to move into it. But I'll rock a couple more times back and forward until I find the floor with my shoulders. You'll bring your shoulder blades together and try to create one straight line from your toes to your hips to your shoulders. So I'm using my hands to support my mid-back to bring my hips up nice and high. This is a different version of an inversion today. So point the toes, create a nice long line here. If you want to bend your knees and kick your feet over so that you find the floor with your feet, in plow pose, you can do that. You can interlace your hands on the mat, or you can just stay in shoulder stand. Hold for 3 more breaths here. If you were in plow pose, just support your back again. We're gonna come out of this really slow, 1 vertebrae touches the mat at a time. So you can guide your hips down, slowly, slowly, slowly. You can bend the knees if that helps a little bit. 1 vertebrae at a time. Until your feet are back on the mat. Good, so I'm laying down on the mat now with the soles of my feet on the ground. Nice. And just like we did in the beginning of class, I'll draw 1 knee in towards the center and then the other. Yeah. Nice. Let's grab onto the backs of our thighs 1 more time and get a couple rocks until we come back to a tabletop. This will be one of our finishing poses. We haven't done this before yet, but it's called froggy pose. So if you want to do this like long ways on your mat, you can do that, but you open up your knees as much as you can. Shins are parallel, so my ankle is right underneath is in line with my knee. And I'm gonna draw my hips towards the ground. So for those of you that have a little bit sensitive knees, you can use 2 pillows underneath the knees or fold your mat over. And we're just gonna reach forward like child's pose. Yeah, or you can stay on your forearms, whatever feels good. But I'm pushing into my hips. I'm pressing into the ground and pushing into the hips. So this is a really deep, deep stretch here. Good, go ahead and find your palms on the ground, press yourself off of the ground and bring your knees to tabletop position, nice and slow. Come back to sitting down, crisscross applesauce. And just like in the beginning of class, that's what we're gonna do. So I have my legs crossed, You're gonna reach overhead. Inhale and then exhale, reach forward as far as I can. See if you're a little bit longer than the beginning of class. Neck hangs heavy. Aiming the chest towards the ground. Inhale, maybe walk your fingertips a little bit farther forward, and exhale, draw your chest towards the ground. And then tippy toe your hands closer to your feet. Let's switch. So now if your right foot was in front, bring it in towards the center and make sure that your left foot is out in front, just to balance out the body. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold forward, nice and long. Try to prevent the curling of their spine too much. So see how my chest is not touching the mat, but I'm trying to get it there by keeping my spine nice and long. Try to keep those sit bones on the mat. You can let your neck hang heavy here. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Let's extend the legs forward and lay all the way down. And let's do one final twist by bringing our right knee towards our chest. Big inhale, and then exhale, twist. Draw that knee towards the ground. You can keep that knee bent or straighten the leg. Totally your preference. Gaze towards the right arm. Press that right shoulder into the mat. Inhale back to center, squeeze that knee into your chest. Grab the bottom of that right foot for a half happy baby. So pull that right knee past your ribs on the right side. Good, and then just let go of that leg, let it straighten, and then bring your left knee towards your chest, give it a nice squeeze. Inhale and exhale as you twist, bring that knee over. Again, extend that leg or keep it bent, whatever you did on the other side. Take your gaze over to the left arm. Then go ahead and come back to center. Reach for the bottom of that left foot and try to bring that shin parallel again. So ankle on top of knee. This time we'll bring our right foot all the way up where our left foot is. Let's bring our soles of our feet together. So we're in a butterfly position. Soles of the feet are touching and you're bringing the feet in towards the chest. kind of a funny looking position. You can rock side to side. It's just a variation of the happy baby. Then bring your knees to your chest, give yourself a really big hug. And exhale, relax for our final resting pose. Let your legs fall naturally, let them splay. Plant your hands wherever they feel comfortable, by your sides, over your head. And let's take a couple moments here just to reflect on how we feel. Get excited for the new month ahead. That gratitude for being able to move. Yay. Your regular breathing pattern. No need to breathe in through the nose or exhale through the nose, just however comes natural. I'm gonna reach my arms up long, just back over my head. I'm gonna flex my feet and roll my ankles a little bit just to kind of wake me up a little bit. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can just stay laying down and do whatever you need. I'm gonna roll on over to my left side, keeping my eyelids heavy. I'm gonna use my right palm to press up and come into a final seated position. Okay. Inhale the arms overhead. Lengthen out of your seat. Bring your hands to heart center. As you exhale, thank you so much for letting me lead you today. Namaste. Yay! Thanks, guys.